welcome to the functional demonstration of how the MicroMoment Plus platform works from Advocado. So you should have already seen the overview, which is the experience of how things happen. If you haven't, I'd go ahead and watch that one first. In this video, we're going to actually show you the mechanics. So here I am. I'm going to log in. And once I log in, I'm now getting access to our interface. And remembering that what we do at Advocado with MicroMoment Plus is actually connect those television moments in terms of when a television commercial is running and dynamically activating changes in Google Ads campaigns. What I've got here is our interface. We'll be coming in and taking a look at our demonstration Google Ads account and our Google Analytics account, because we also send events over there. So in this case, as you see, we've got home, we've got reports, we've got an admin area. For this demo, I'm going to focus over here on the agency area. So we're going to use our test agency or dynamic marketing agency account. When we jump in to look at, we're going to see different advertisers. So if you think about it, we have agencies, we have advertisers. When we jump in here on Stevens & Stevens, we're now going to have brands. And that way you can actually manage multiple brands under a customer, multiple customers under an agency. And in this particular case, we have our AccuView contact solution. I'm not going to edit it. You see we've already connected their Google Ads account. And I'm going to go ahead and click on triggers. So triggers are essentially the events that we see. In this case, we're calling encoding ID 444. That's the ID that comes across from our national monitoring station. So in this case, the trigger name is AccuView is right for you. It's active. We're doing both analytics and we have other things happening. To take a look at them, we're going to go ahead and click edit. And we're going to see down here that we have an analytics action. That action specifically will actually send the start end of a TV commercial as well as the end of the keyword activation message or event into Google Analytics. So while we collect all this data first party, we don't have to view what's happening there. And in this particular case, we have details about the trigger. It's a 15-second ad, the Google Analytics account ID, these types of pieces of metadata. So in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and look at the vision bid adjustment. And so if I go in and edit it, as we walk through, and if you see here, we're looking at the vision account, vision AccuView right here. As we walk through, the first thing that comes up is this idea of where is this commercial running. So you can actually have different keyword assignments based on the market. And so in this case, we're looking, it looks like a national cable channel, but we can choose markets here to the left. This has already been saved, so I'm going to go ahead and save that market. Now what's happening is MicroMoment Plus is talking to the Google Ads account and actually extracting all the different campaigns. In this case, as you see, we have Vision AccuView. Similar to how things work in Google Ads, when you select something, if it's not entirely selected, you see a little dash through it versus a check mark. If I click in here on Vision, you're going to see that I have a number of keywords that have not been selected. So for example, this One Day AccuView Moist, this AccuView Blue Contacts. If I come over to here, you see One Day AccuView Moist Colored. So by deselecting it, over here we're saying we do not want to make a bid adjustment on it. I'm going to go ahead and add that so you can see that we can dynamically change things. I'm going to go ahead and save that bid adjustment. And so now, after we've identified which keywords and which campaigns have been activated, we now come in and we can put some controls. So up top, we're going to say what is the maximum bid that we actually want to allow. In this case, we're allowing it to go as high as Google's maximum. The other thing is when we run our bid adjustment, think about that 2-minute window from the start of a TV ad to the end of our activation. That micro moment, we want to provide a business rule that says when we get a first position bid back from Google Ads, how do we want to adjust it? I wouldn't necessarily recommend going, 400% over it. I'm going to sit here and adjust it to, we're going to increase it by 15%. And down here, in not all cases can we actually get that value back from Google. So in this case, we have the option of going how much higher. So is it, in this case, 1,000% would be right 10x, or do we want to say 6x? So 600, give or take 600% here. And so now we've saved the constraints on, again, in that process, in the time it's taking somebody to see a commercial, reach for their phone and do a Google search, all of these activities are going on. So I'm going to go ahead and save that bid adjustment. That's saved back to our system, and we're ready to demonstrate. If I come over here again and I refresh our Google Ads account, nothing's been changed to the account because it's only for the short window in that local market where somebody may be interested. I'm going to come over here to our Google Analytics so that we can actually see those messages coming through. As I pop over to our admin screen, we're going to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to send a simulated detection. Obviously, we can't predict when television is running something that we care about. So in this particular case, we have this as a simulated detection. So I'm going to go ahead and send it. And when I come back over to Google Analytics and I go ahead and don't even have to refresh, you see that the event has now come through. And if we look at the details, you're seeing it was an Advocado event, and we had our broadcast commercial start of the simulation. Now, since this is a 15-second commercial, in about a second or so, we're going to see another event. And that event just came in. That is the commercial end. Now, in that time, actually at the first instance of an event, if I refresh our Google Ads, you're going to see that we have actually made bid adjustments to all of the keywords that we've said we cared about. So in this case, you're seeing that AccuView Blue and AccuView 2 colors did not get adjusted, but everything else, because this is a sample or a test campaign, we do not have a first position bid coming back because it's actually not a live campaign. So you're saying all the others have been adjusted to, in this case, $5.52 for the most part. That will stay in place, again, for the length of the TV commercial, plus 90 seconds. So in this case, it's actually running at about 105 seconds. When I come back over to Google Analytics and we sit here, as we come into about a minute, in a few seconds here, we're actually going to see our finalization event come across, and that's the event that tells us that the bid adjustment window has ended. And again, this is exactly how short of a time window we are dealing with when we make these active bid adjustments. And if you think about what's happening, once everything is set up over here in terms of the MicroMoment Plus administration panel, all of these bid adjustments are handled automatically by the MicroMoment Plus platform. So you see here, just as I click back, that our final bid adjustment end message has come through. And if I come back to Google Ads with a simple refresh, we're going to see that all of our bid adjustments have now been reset to the original values that were in place before this micro moment occurred. So to restate, very simply, we made configuration changes here in terms of the MicroMoment Plus admin panel, but once we did that, we created a series of triggers. So if you think about this, we've turned television advertising into a real-time bidding trigger that it has perfect knowledge of that TV ad running. And so at the start of that first message, we made those bid adjustments. We recorded back to Google Analytics that the commercial ended, but more importantly, we also recorded when the bid adjustment ended, and all of that was taken care of automatically